I'm sure by now you guys may have heard that some customers are experiencing issues with the 2024 Tacomas. More specifically, issues with the automatic transmission, both the two-wheel drive models and the four-wheel drive models. So what is going on? Well, as of September 9th, 2024, Toyota came out with TSB 0076-24. And in that TSB letter, it states that some customers may experience a check engine light. And in that check engine light, once we pull the codes, these are the codes that might be stored in the ECM. Here are the codes right here. And if we do find one of these codes stored in the ECM, Toyota wants us to replace the transmission and the torque converter as well. So for the two-wheel drive, how much is Toyota paying? 4.9 hours. For the four-wheel drive model, how much is Toyota paying for that? 5.9 hours. We'll touch a little bit on that later. So if I'm going to be honest, I did see one transmission in the shop being done. So we had one case of a 2024 Tacoma with a transmission issue. So for only one, it's not like they're coming in every day. And I can't speak for other dealers. So only from where I work at, we've seen one so far. So what is going on? At least Toyota jumped on top of the issue instead of sweeping it under the rug. So if you're a customer out there and you own one of these trucks, I know it may be an inconvenience for you to have to worry about your transmission giving out. That's the last thing you want to think about if you're going on a road trip or taking your family out somewhere is, oh man, is my 2024 Tacoma transmission going to give out on me in the middle of the highway? You know, it's not something you want to think about, you know, after purchasing a brand new truck. Some people are purchasing the brand new truck because their old previous car or truck was giving them problems. And that's the last thing they want to worry about is another problem on a brand new purchase. And I get it, man. It could be frustrating. But rest assured that Toyota at least jumped on top of it. And instead of sweeping it under the rug, came out clean, straightforward, and say, hey, there is an issue with the 2024 Tacoma automatic transmission. We are going to replace it along with the torque converter as well. Now, let's get to the labor time. 4.9 hours. Is that good? Is that bad? What about for the four-wheel drive models? 5.9 hours. Is that good or is that bad? I'll be honest with you. This is the part where it could get a little tricky, you know, because 4.9, you know, is not bad in itself because a rear-wheel drive transmission, you know, it doesn't take much to drop it down on a Tacoma. But the problem is the guy who's capable of doing that job is going to get the short end of the stick. I mean, it doesn't take that long to drop it, fine. But, you know, the guys doing brakes, the alignments, the tires, they're going to run laps around you time-wise at the dealership, in the dealership. Because the time is going to take me to drop a two-wheel drive model that's paying 4.9, I can get a lot of alignments done. So, for example, an alignment pays 1 hour, right? So every alignment that I do on the alignment rack, I get 1 hour for that job. The time that is going to take me to drop that transmission down and get 4.9, I probably could have done 10 alignments in that time span. What about a four-wheel brake job? A four-wheel brake job pays 4 hours. To remove this automatic transmission, I'm going to get 4.9. You know, which am I going to be more incentivized to want to do, or which one am I going to be more incentivized to work on when I go to work? That's the issue. So the guys who are skilled and capable of doing this kind of jobs, the transmission, the heavy line stuff, the labor time just doesn't make sense for us to really want to do that all day long. It's backbreaking work. And like I said, it's not the most difficult job to do, but at the same time, it takes skills. It requires a little bit of skills to be able to remove a transmission in a brand new truck at that. You know, it's not like an old beat up 2002 truck. These are 2024. So you want to be extra careful to do the job right. You don't want to do a bad job and have the customer upset, leaving fingerprints everywhere or not torquing things down properly. You want to do things in a way where it looks like the truck was never touched. What about the four-wheel drive model? So Toyota is saying, okay, instead of giving you 4.9 like the other one, which is pretty much the same step. The only difference between the four-wheel drive model and then the two-wheel drive model is that transfer case we're going to have to transfer. But, so what? You're dropping the transfer case with the transmission all together down. It's not like you have to do extra work, at least not an hour worth of extra work just to remove that transfer case and attach it to the new transmission. So in my opinion, I believe the two-wheel drive should be about 6 hours that it pays, 6 or 7 hours, in a four-wheel drive model should be about 8, if I'm going to be honest, because that's pretty much an all-day job. The only way you benefit from doing a job like that as a heavy line tech is if you have multiple lifts that you could work on other cars while you're doing a little bit here and then you do a little bit over there. But to be solely tied up to that truck, you're going to get the short end of the stick. 5 hours is not really, adequate time, if I'm going to be honest. Can you get it done in 5 hours, 4.9 hours, 5.9 hours? Yeah, but you got to be hustling. And by the time you're done to drop it and put it back, you're not really going to have much energy to do nothing else. So that's one of the things I wish they would have did better on. 4.9 hours is just not enough. A full-wheel brake job pays 4 hours, like I said. So another 0.9, you think that's fair to do a transmission job? I don't know. But at the end of the day, the job got to get done. Most likely, it would be a drivetrain expert technician with somewhere along those lines of certification levels that's probably going to be required or allowed to do the job. So it's not going to be anybody who just came into the dealership, maintenance level. I'm sure they're going to require some kind of certification level to do it. Otherwise, they would not pay the claim. But I've had a lot of people comment, hey, what's going on with Toyota? Why are there so many recalls? Toyota's going downhill, or why is all these TSBs coming out? Manufacturing issues, engine debris, Tacoma this, Tundra that. And I got to be honest with you guys. I think the problem is the availability of information that we have at the palm of our hands, social media. Because for technicians, recalls, TSBs have been around for forever. As a matter of fact, that's what keeps us busy at the dealership is recalls and TSBs. Most customers don't go to the dealership for customer pay job. If you ask any technicians, any mechanic working at a dealership, they'll tell you TSBs are nothing new, recalls are nothing new. So what's the problem? Why does it seem like every time you go on social media, you hear something about this manufacturer having this recall, that manufacturer is recalling this, recalling that, X amount of vehicles? It's because I believe creators are now making content or updating the public on recall TSBs because consumers are following the content. They are consuming it. But as long as I can remember, recalls have always been around. Toyota have always had recalls. And other manufacturers, I'm sure if you look online, you'll find this manufacturer is recalling this much cars, or this other manufacturer is recalling this, TSBs that. You guys just don't really pay attention. And a lot of people are focusing on Toyota and Toyota solely. Anytime Toyota come up with a recall, oh yeah, Toyota is, is going down, and they're quick to bash Toyota, but honestly, it's happening everywhere. Every manufacturer is having this recall. So I wouldn't be quick to say I'm going to leave Toyota and I'm going to this brand because believe me, they're all having their own fair share of recalls and TSBs as well. If ask your local mechanic at a dealership, or if you know anybody, they'll tell you recalls, TSBs, 80 to 90% of the time are what's keeping us busy at the dealership. Anytime a new manufacturer or anytime a new model comes out, that's the first thing we think about. Oh, I wonder what's the TSB going to be for this. I wonder what recalls they're going to come out with that. It's nonstop. I know it may seem like every time we turn on social media, we hear something about Toyota recalling this, Toyota TSB that. But believe me, guys, every manufacturer is going through the same thing. It's just now, like I said, content, social media, everybody want to make videos about it, which is fine. It's good for you guys to get the update. But it's not to say that this is something new. When I first started at Toyota, recalls were around then too. It's just people weren't making that many content regarding or talking about the issue. But it seems like now people have the information at the palm of their hands. You have content creators making videos about it, which is fine, it's good for you guys to get the information and update. Otherwise, you would never know about it. Sometimes you might end up saving some money. So the information is being readily available because of social media and content creation. That's why it may seem like more and more is coming out. But believe me, guys, recalls have always been around. That's what's keeping us busy at the dealership 80 to 90% of the time. If you don't believe me, ask a technician that works there. It's not customer pay job. It surely isn't warranty parts that are failing on their own. Recalls, TSBs. That's what's keeping us busy at the dealership. They come in, we get the job done, order the part, it's routine. We know exactly what tools to get. So no need to panic. I don't think it's a quality issue that's going down. Recalls have always been around. I think they will always be around. TSBs will continue to be around. So don't you guys panic and think Toyota's going downhill and leave to another manufacturer, because they're going to have their own fair share of recalls as well. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys find this video informative in any way. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching.